I think that one of the biggest lies or misconceptions that we have been told is that you need to work harder. Like if you're not getting something, if you're working towards something and you're not achieving that, it's because you're not putting enough effort. It's because you're being lazy, you're being unproductive. And it's this idea that what you get, like the amount of energy, time that you put into something equal, like is how do you say, is proportionate to the result that you get. I think that's how you say it, which is, it's bullshit, to be honest, because the right things in life, they're effortless. They are maybe they're not the easiest, or they're not necessarily easy all the time, but they happen quite smoothly. And if you're pushing so hard to to achieve something, to get something that you're not getting, probably it's not the right thing for you. Like, I'm sorry to break your heart, but you're not supposed to be struggling, drained, anxious, tired all the time. Like, that's not the way to live. You're not supposed to be completely drained by the things you do. You cannot just empty your cup. You need to fill it somehow. And yeah, you may fill it with other things, like you pour energy into something and then you fill your cup with something else. Sure, but in my experience, it's really an illusion, the one that you said, oh, I'm just going to push a bit further because then I reach that goal and then it's going to be all good. It's like, oh, yeah, this is a stressful time because XYZ is happening, but once this is over, everything will be fine. I'm sorry, but that's not true. That's not true. It's never gonna get easier, because if you keep getting stuck in that mindset of hustling and working hard and struggling to achieve things, it's a loop that is very hard to get out of, because you will always keep getting opportunities and situations that require you that kind of effort. You'll keep being stuck in no, not here. You'll keep getting stuck in a reality that demands too much of you. And I'm not saying that you cannot handle it, because you probably can, but ask you what price. Like, what price are you paying to actually putting so much effort into something, for feeling drained and anxious? Like, I don't know. When I was in that situation, I was addicted. I was addicted to cigarettes. I was addicted to alcohol. I had eating disorders. I was drinking like 6-7 coffees a day just to keep through. I was taking painkillers every month because my period was unbearable. Like, and yeah, I was pushing through. I was doing great. Like, from the outside, I was doing amazing. I looked like the one who just had things easy and had it all figured out, but I was lying to myself and to others, because I was stuck in a situation that was actually taking so much out of me and giving me very little. And the moment I decided that was not going to work for me anymore, and I switched to something that feels more aligned, it's not easy, because it's not it required me to do like a lot of introspection and looking inwards and make peace with a lot of parts of myself, and that is not easy, but it feels the right thing. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels like inevitable. It feels like you cannot not do it, because you know that it's gonna take you somewhere beautiful. And trust me that it's a very different feeling from like doing something hard just because it's hard. And not that you need to do things necessarily for an outcome, but then ask yourself, really, why are you doing that? Like, I remember once I heard someone saying like that the coolest part about their job was telling other people what they were doing, and I could relate to that so much. Oh my god, like I never really got to properly build a career in the field I studied for, because I quit before. But during my internship, I didn't quit before. I didn't even start. Like, I did my internship, which was mandatory for my master's. So I worked 6 months in consultancy, and then I was like, never again. But I can relate so much, because I was saying like, I felt so good, so cool and good, saying like, oh yeah, like I'm working for this like environmental consultancy, and we're working on like circular economy, and it just felt amazing, like EU policy reporting, like yeah, I felt so cool saying it. And then in the reality, every time I was in the office, every time I was in front of my laptop, I was feeling miserable. And there's nothing wrong with doing environmental consultancy. We're working in that field with having to do with EU policies and like whatever. I respect that. But it was just not right for me. And so the moment I switched, things started aligning a lot easier. Like opportunities started just coming to me. I swear, I wasn't doing anything. The right things came at the right time. And it may not be easy to accept. I think well, at least in my case, I knew a lot before I accepted it that was not the right path for me. I knew it, but it's not easy to accept it. Even though you know it, it's not easy to accept it and take a step, because of course then you keep thinking like, well, at least it was the case for me. I kept thinking, oh my God, I wasted all my years of studying, all the resources that I poured into studying, the money that my parents spent, the time, the effort, the energy, you know, like everything. I studied 5 years for a career, for a life path, that now I'm deciding to just let go and go teach yoga. Like I felt guilty. But then, you know, at some point there's nothing really you can do about it. If you're on the wrong path and you realize it, honey, like it's too late. I'm sorry. If you're out of the, if you realize you don't fit in the box, you're out of it. You cannot be with one foot in and one foot out, at least in my experience. So it's not the easiest thing, but it's gonna be really worth it to switch to something else, something that truly aligns with you, with your passion, with your interests, with the lifestyle that you want to live. Because it will be, maybe it will not be easy, but it will be smooth. It will be, you know, effortless, in the sense that you will find yourself that you don't have to do as much to make things happen. I don't know if that makes sense. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the time and the dedication, but the things that you need will show up. And it's crazy, but it does happen. And once you take that leap, once you take that step, it is scary. But also, I think it's scarier to spend the rest of your life stuck into something that you didn't really want to do, right? You know, I saw the other day on Pinterest a board, like it was like a billboard or something that said, do it for your 80-year-old self, that is, so that she doesn't say like, oh, I wish I had done that, you know? I know I've probably heard this so many times, but it's like, you know, it just clicked for me. And it was like, yeah, I don't want to, like, even if it's, because that also might happen, right? You know what doesn't work for you. You know that you're pushing and struggling and hustling for something that doesn't feel right. You decide to change. Maybe you don't get it right the first time, you know? Maybe you need to take 2 or 3 attempts before you actually align, before you actually understand what you really want, what is the direction that you want to go. It can be a trial and error thing. That was the case for me. And sometimes it is easier to know what we don't want rather than to know what we want. And it's also easier to feel, you know, to try things and know how they feel. Okay, this feels right, this feels, so I'm gonna do it. This feels wrong, I'm gonna leave it. But to wrap up, I think what I wanted to say, or how we started, was it's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be a struggle. Sorry, I feel like I'm moving this phone so much. It's not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be a struggle. You're supposed to enjoy it. Yes, life is made of sacrifices, but it's not all sacrifices. It's not, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to. Like, I know it's hard to believe, because we're so used into this mindset of, oh, you need to, like, if you're not getting things because you need to push harder, is because you're not putting enough effort into it. And there's like this idea that it's just like a matter, like hard work always pays off, and it's not. Like, it doesn't. It's not the case, really. Hard work may pay off, but the first thing you're gonna ask yourself is, it pays off at what price? And there was a second thing that I wanted to say. But yeah, is it paying? And the second thing is, like, is it paying off as much as you want it to pay off? Because I can put in, 100 and get 90 or 80. And yeah, you can argue that it pays off, but over time, over the years, then it's not balanced, So it's not that you need to put in 100, it needs to give you 10,000, but is it paying off as much as you want? And there is no shame, no guilt, nothing wrong in changing. Actually, like, I'm sitting on this bench, and there is a quote here which says, it's like to remember someone who died. And so there's their name, and then it says, it says something along the line, someone who hasn't changed their mind hasn't done anything. So it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to choose a different life. It's okay to realizing that maybe you were wrong, or actually you were not wrong. You were right at the time, but maybe you have changed, and that decision hasn't changed with you, or the consequences of that decision haven't evolved with you. That's okay. You can make new decisions. You can always make new decisions, and trust me, this will really pay off in the long term. Like, maybe at the beginning you're putting, well, I don't know what I want to say. Maybe at the beginning it will not be the easiest, because you're still stuck in this transition moment, but it will pay off. I feel like this last part didn't sound very convincing at all. I'm sorry, but I think the whole message did. So I'm good. Okay. Thank you for listening.